Hey everybody, welcome back. In today's video, I'm out on the range shooting my 18-inch 223 AR. This is a rifle that I've had for a long time, but I haven't ever done a video on it. It's actually the first AR style rifle that I ever built. At least the receiver set is. That's about all that's left over from the original rifle. This started out life as it's left-handed, I should mention. It's a left-handed Stag Arms receiver set. And it started out as a regular M forgery looking gun. You know, it had the plastic handguard and the goofy stock and the front sight post and all that stuff. So over the years, it's changed a bunch. This is probably the third or fourth configuration that it's been in. And I'll just go through the rifle and tell you a little bit about it. And then I'm going to be shooting some groups on paper here, trying to find a good load for some 55 grain Barnes TSX bullets. But first with the rifle, at the back, this is an old school Ergo stock. They eventually, Magpul bought the rights to this stock and it eventually became the UBR, but this is an actual Ergo branded stock. And then, like I said, this is a left-handed Stag upper receiver and a regular Stag lower. I did put an ambi safety on it. This is a Magpul Miad grip. This is the one that had the interchangeable back straps and front straps. This is a straight Magpul 20 rounder that I painted along with the gun. The handguard is a 15-inch M-LOK that I believe I bought back off eBay back when you could still do that. The bipod is a Caldwell Harris knockoff. The scope is a old school SWFA fixed 10 power with mill reticle and mill turrets. It's obviously fixed power, but it is a nice fine reticle. So even though it's only 10 power, it's pretty easy to make precise shots with it because the crosshairs and the reticle itself is so thin and fine. I've got an offset Midwest Industries dot mount with I'm not even sure what this dot is. I think this is an old Ronin red dot, but it works okay. The barrel is actually an AR Stoner brand barrel that I bought from Midway USA years ago, and it replaced a Daniel Defense barrel that I'd put on here. When I changed up this configuration for this kind of last time, I decided I wanted a nice, accurate 18-inch DMR style gun, so I bought an expensive Daniel Defense 18-inch barrel. It was rifle length, and it was the S2W contour, which at the time was supposed to be really cool. And it absolutely did not shoot. It would shoot. The best I ever did with nice hand loads was about 1.5 inches. And that's like 5-shot groups, so it didn't shoot really. So I decided to just pull it off. I didn't have very many rounds on it. I pulled it off, I sold it, and then I bought this cheap barrel. I think this barrel cost me, I want to say it was 120 bucks. But it's a stainless barrel, it's fluted. It is a mid-length gas, which ends up working out just fine. This rifle's actually gassed pretty well. And then obviously I've got my YHM can on the end there. But like I said, I'm out here shooting some groups. I bought some Barnes 55 grain TSX flat base bullets, and I've been trying to find a rifle that they'll shoot in. I've shot them through two of my other 16-inch ARs, and they shoot really bad. But I have shot some of the factory Barnes ammo. I think it's Federal, but it's loaded with Barnes bullets. I've shot some of the factory ammo through this gun, and it does okay. But they work really well on deer. My boys each shot a deer 2 years ago, and I was super impressed with how well they killed. Just small does, but it whacked them. One of them wasn't even necessarily a really good shot, but they both dropped him right there in their tracks at about 150 yards. So really impressive performance on game. So I would like to find a load that'll kind of semi sort of work. so that I can use this gun out of a deer blind or have my kids use it or whatever. So, and I bought 100 of the bullets. I've shot about, when I get through shooting all this, I'll be through about 50 of them, just trying to find something that'll work. So first up, I'm going to shoot 3 loads with Varget, just 3 different powder charges. I've got 10 rounds loaded up of each. And then I'm going to shoot a 4th 10 round group of the 55 grain Barnes loaded up with some H335 ball powder. And then when I get done shooting all that, I'm going to shoot a 10 round group with my baseline ammo, which is a 77 grain Nosler hollow point loaded with H322. That's kind of the round that I've normally shoot out of this rifle. I worked up a load for it a long time ago, and I've got a whole batch of those loaded up. But once I baseline it with the ammo that it's zeroed for, I'm also going to shoot, I've got some 73 grain ELDMs left over that I tested years back, and I decided I didn't like the way they shot. I'm going to give those another chance because when I do end up running out of the 77 grain Noslers, I'd like to switch to a tipped bullet, something that kills a little better. Now, I've used the 77 Noslers on coyotes, and I've had pretty decent success on it, but it's not something I would shoot a deer with. And I've had some runners with coyotes. They're certainly better than like a 69 grain Sierra Match King, which had a real small, tight tip. These are a little bit wider hollow point, so I think it initiates expansion a little bit better. But I would like to go to the 73 grain ELDMs if I can find something that'll work with them, because I think that'd be a good all-around target, varmint, and I wouldn't have a problem shooting a deer with it. So anyway, that's the plan. I just thought I'd bring you along. This isn't a rifle that I've shown on the channel yet, so just going to shoot some groups with it, see what we can find out, and bring you along. Do a little group analysis here before I move on and shoot the H335 load. You're probably thinking, man, either this guy can't shoot or this rifle is just trash. But let me assure you, compared to the last groups that I shot with these bullets, with 2 different rifles, which I'll show you right now, in comparison, these are bench rest groups. So this was my first 10-shot group here. I had one land a little off the target, about right here. So my aiming point was here, and I shot this 10-round group plus one about right here. So pretty decent group. Second group, you can see as I increase the powder, it starts to migrate up. So I held here, up and to the right, I should say. So I held here, and I shot this group. Now I got these all on paper, but pretty big group. About probably a little over a 3-inch group, probably. And then my final group here, to account for the fact that it's migrating up and right as I increase powder charge, I held this dot, but I held a mil low. So I aimed about right here, and they all hit about right over here, except for this one. So I think maybe this bullet wants to go fast. Obviously, I had a little more horizontal spread here, but a tighter vertical group here with the highest Varget charge that I loaded. Now, after I loaded these, I ended up finding the actual Barnes data, and I can go hotter, so I may try that. But anyway, wanted to go over these, and now I will go ahead and shoot the last group of the Barnes that I have loaded up with the ball powder. Well, that was worse. Big old group there with the H335, so I don't think it likes that powder. And that was a max load according to Barnes, or very near max, a couple tenths of a grain off, but no pressure signs whatsoever on any of the brass. So I think I'll probably, if I want to pursue this load a little more, I'm going to stick to Varget, push that powder charge up a little bit. I know the factory ammo, the Federal stuff is, I mean, it's hot. You can tell those cases are, you've got all kinds of pressure signs, flat primers, extractor marks, all kinds of stuff. So definitely room to push this one up. But this isn't a full load workout video, just kind of wanted to show this rifle and shoot it a little bit. But last two groups I'll shoot are with the 73 grain ELDs, and I've got a load of Varget and a load of H322. Alright, so here's how that turned out. My first group up here with Varget and the 73 grain ELDMs, and then my second group with H322 and the 73s, and then I came over here and shot my, these are the 77 grain Noslers, and I noticed I was shooting consistently a little high and right. I was wondering if my zero had migrated a little bit, and it appears it did just a little bit. So this last group here, I held a half mil to the left on this dot, and that's where these hit. So I ended up adjusting a tenth of a mil down and a tenth of a mil back to the left, and then I came back over here and shot. I had 9 rounds left of the 77s. I came back over here and shot this kind of zero confirmation group. So I think that's going to wrap up this one with the 18-inch 223 gun. I'm thinking about doing maybe a comparison out to distance with this one and my 22 ARC when I finally get a load put together for that one. So anyway, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next one.